do I just not have enough room? I just don't. There. Maybe we can do that. And I still... Okay. Just don't have enough room. Alright. Okay. Paper's so thick I'm never sure if I've only got one sheet. It's not entirely a bad thing. You want thick paper for watercolor paper, usually. Alright. So, it's been a hot minute since we've worked on this project. So I want to get back to it. Specifically because it's been a hot minute. My measurements are never 100% precise, but we try to get as close as we can. That's some thick paper to cut through. Let me tell you. Thicker than cardstock, that is. The blade on this thing is probably like, what in the hell are you doing? My arm is shaking with the force of trying to pull that through and not break it. Wow. Alright. So there's one cut. It's kind of even, I think. Oh, hey, we had one at the bottom too, except we don't have the extender arm down here. It's probably about as even as I would get with my crooked self. So for those that don't know, I've been slowly trying to work on following all of the Bob Ross tutorials, but this time I'm going to do it with gouache because I'm trying to get better at using this medium. And I figured, well, what the hell? Let's really kind of see what we can do with this. Why not? Why not? So I'm painting on 5x5 squares of watercolor paper, and that way I can get 2 projects out of 1 sheet. Where are we stuck? You came out of here. Why now are we gonna be shithead? There we go. What the hell was that just fell? Oh. That's what it was. Oh. Whew. Okay. Oh my goodness. Alright. So, yeah, we're gonna do it on some watercolor paper. We've done 2 of season 1 already. And we are working on number 3 now. I had jacked my hand up, so that's part of the reason why we hadn't done any of this recently. The other reason was Diablo had come out, so we were playing that, husband and I. And the last reason It's a little crooked, but that's alright. The last reason was that this one intimidates me a bit. His whole first season, some of them are really kind of, that was way too much tape, are really kind of intimidating for it being like an introduction into what he's doing. Like, the first one just looks weird, right? With how he did it. I fucked up and my sky was too dark. So we just decided to make it a nighttime one. But for someone brand new to this, I can see how it would be a little discouraging. And I love Bob. Nothing against Bob. But I can see how it would be a little bit discouraging if you've never picked up a paintbrush before to look at it and be like, ugh, you know? I actually think some of the ones that he does later are actually a bit more beginner friendly than that first season. But I also attribute that to quite possibly some of it being his nerves, right? Because, you know, it was his first time recording for TV, and it can be intimidating when you've got fucking cameras pointed at you from, like, how many different directions, you know? So just getting some water here out of my water jar. I've also been working on my tissue paper flamingo. He's about 2.5 feet. He's too big to work on stream. He's just too big. He's not really gonna work out on stream. So I've been working on him on the side a bit. Okay, so this one we are gonna be following the one from season 3. Or season 1, excuse me. This is season 1, episode 3 from Joy of Painting. If anybody wants to see the actual tutorial instead of my half-assed attempt at following it. Come on, baby. Oof. That was difficult, even with a grip on it. Oh, my poor finger. Whew. Oh, well, it's nice to see that this paint's still pretty liquidy. It's been a little bit since I've used it. I needed black, and this was there. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just use this, because A, it's there. And I should probably use it up. I put way too much of this down. But since this is a black canvas, that he did, we'll take some black acrylic paint. Now, I don't know if this is gonna work. Disclaimer right out in front. I don't know how well this is gonna work. Not the acrylic paint on the watercolor paper. I've done that before. Plenty of times. No problems. More along the lines of, I don't know how the gouache is going to behave on top of this. That's more where I'm really uncertain on this one. But, you know, we'll see. Now, we might not be able to do it in the same way that he does it, because, you know, this isn't oil. So it's going to dry. And the gouache dries pretty quickly. So, really not sure how this is gonna go. So we might have to make some adjustments along the way. And just kind of wing it, I suppose. We'll have to see how good our winging it skills are. So I like the Arteza acrylic paint, sort of. I don't like how sticky it gets as it's drying. And it always feels like I need to add a little bit more water to it. I love using the acrylic paint watered down though. On the watercolor paper, looks great. To me. Just realized I've probably got my plate covering the entirety of what we're doing here, not like there's a whole lot to see at the moment though. Because we kind of have to wait for this to dry before we can really do anything. I almost pre-prepped this. Ahead of time. But then there was that little voice that's like, nah, it won't take that long to dry. I've actually found that the Arteza stuff can take a little bit. Just a little. But if you're going on canvas, I don't like the Arteza paint all that much. Because it dries out too fast on my palette for me. I'm a slow worker. Which is why I kinda am starting to love gouache a bit. Because I don't feel like I'm wasting that much, because it can dry a little bit on me. I can just come back in and hit it with a little bit of water, and I'm good to go, you know. This might have a little bit of a shine to it. I just realized this might not have been the better paint to go with. Shit. It's a little late for that now. It's gonna look a little shiny as it dries too. So I put some water in just a little tiny cup here. Because I really didn't want the acrylic paint to get into the water that I'm going to be using for the gouache. Put the hole up there. Oh, that's why it's a little different. I don't have my towel in the position that I usually put it in. No idea where I got this paintbrush from. But I have it. And it's a white nylon apparently. And I can't tell if I've just stained the bristles with the black paint or if there's still paint in it. Having a little bit of trouble figuring that out. Because I'm running it through the water. And it looks pretty clear. And then I'm going to dry it off, and then it looks like black as hell still. Alright, I'm gonna put that guy up there. You up there. Okay. So, now we have to play the drying game. I don't have a fan readily available, or a hairdryer or heat tool or anything. I'd probably burn myself on a heat tool, to be perfectly honest. And I do enough of that with the glue gun, so we don't really need to add more fuel to that. So we'll just kind of help this along a bit. Hope we help it along a bit. I mean, it looks like it's matting up, not matting, but drying. Pretty decently. I forgot that the Arteza stuff is shiny. I'm so used to working with my matte craft paint that I forget that their stuff's more of like an artist grade kind of, and it's like the next step up, even if it is like level 1 or whatever. And it's got a little bit of a different behavior to it. We're getting there though. You can see it slowly starting to lose its shine. Wow, that's got an air pocket in there. Shit. I didn't think we had an air pocket into there, or in under there, but apparently we seem to have. Question is, are you actually dry? You're just shiny. Or are you still drying? Because I mean, down in here it looks like it's a slightly different color, but that maybe that part had a little more water to it. So he puts a base color down on this, right? And I mean, I'm not having any of it come off. Probably alright. So I can't do that. We will see how things go here. Are you up?
No.
Okay. Sorry, husband stepped in for a second. So he did the black canvas, and usually when he does these black canvases, he puts like a translucent color down, and then he starts adding other colors on top of it. So he used alizarin crimson, and then he took brown and kind of added that to the corners. Did he do it all the way around? Yeah, he did. So kind of like a vignette I guess. So you really can't see the Van Dyke brown on there with how he did it. It just all looks black. Oh, get out of there. So then he takes yellow. And he kind of, oh fuck, I don't know if we can do this. He takes yellow and sticks it in the middle. Right? And it kind of takes on this like reddish orange. So we're gonna have to take some liberties here and work within our means. So he keeps going back into, if we can like, see, he's acting like he's showing the camera behind him and they're not even on that camera. Like, this was infuriating. See what I mean by season 1 just felt like such a hot mess? So, because he's got, okay, so we're gonna have to kind of do our own thing here. So we're gonna take some water because it's very dry here. So my paint tends to dry out a bit. So I just need to come back in. And hit that with some water. Okay. So, let's see here. What brush do I want? We've got a couple to choose from. Let's go with this guy. Alright. This is a number 3, whatever it is. Okay. So, we're gonna grab a little bit of our darkest brown here. Right? So I'm not sure if it was a good idea to do this sucker as a black canvas, but we'll see. So we've got a little bit of our brown here. And then I really don't have an alizarin crimson. I have like this weird fuchsia magenta-y color that's probably really bright for this. But because these colors aren't going to blend like an oil paint, we kind of have to figure out a way around that. So Here's gonna be my solution to that. So I'm gonna try to make a color. I probably should have just added it directly to the brown. Save myself the trouble. Try to make like a purpley brown here. That might be a little too purple. I think I might add just a skosh of the orange that I've got here. It's like a burnt orange. And that might have been a little too much orange. Maybe we can get some more brown into that. So that's a little bright, I think. Kind of want that to be a little bit darker. Or, as an alternative, we can grab a little bit more of our brown here. Now, you don't have to water this shit down. I had to add some water to it because mine dried out. But you don't really need to... Oh, shit. When did that happen? You don't really need to do that. Okay. So. He comes to maybe about here. I'm probably way too far down. And I don't even know if y'all are even gonna see this brown going down on this black. You might not. But I'm hoping that you'll at least notice a shine difference, right? Because this stuff is kind of like opaque watercolor, or it basically is opaque watercolor. But you don't have to water it down to use it. You can use it like acrylic paint. I will sometimes water it down a bit. Or at least most of the times, that's just how I like to use it. So he didn't really do this on the horizon, but I'm gonna. Oh wow, that is looking a little bit chalkified there. That's kind of surprising. I guess it's just how it's reacting with that other color underneath. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna grab that darker color that we just kind of made. And you can sort of reactivate gouache by getting it wet again on your paper too. Some gouache. If it's the acrylic gouache, it's not supposed to necessarily reactivate on your paper. Some shades do, though, from what I understand. But, this is just the jelly gouache. So I can kind of get it to reactivate a little bit. This is probably going to look like hell. Because of how dark it is. Which is kind of what I was afraid of coming into this one. It is kind of getting pretty chalky on top of this Arteza paint. So I might have to go a little bit extra here. I mean, we could have tried coating it in that fuchsia color, but I don't know, it just didn't feel like that was the route we should be going. Because then everything underneath of it was gonna potentially pick it up. Okay, so I'm gonna see if we can grab a little bit of just our regular dark orange here. And I think, you know what? I wonder. I've got some red here. It's kind of like a darkish red. If I can mix that into this without it turning a little too weird on us. I mean, because that just looks like a brown kind of mess there. Alright, let's see what we can do with this. That's not orange enough though, although maybe we can come back and hit that in with a little bit more orange here in just a minute. I mean, although right now that does look pretty boldly orange. Let's see here. See what it looks like as it dries. because as it dries, it's going to tell us a completely different story. This stuff tends to get a little bit darker as it dries. Just kind of letting it melt the other shade underneath of it just a little bit. Just to kind of see what it's going to do here. It's really hard to see on the camera. But I'm hoping that we can get this brought down to the horizon line here just enough. Where we can get this to what we're looking for. We'll see though, because it's so dark down there already. It might take me a little bit to build this up. To where I'm happy with it. Because yeah, that other shade just really completely melted in there and kind of vanished a bit. But I don't want to go too bright too fast. I don't think that's going to do us any favors either. This would have a completely different feel if we did this on the brighter, like if we did this just on white. It'd be like, oof, that's bright kind of situation. Okay. Sorry for the snuffles, allergy season. Allergy life. And no allergy medicine. Oh, so coming up soon, I forgot to mention this in the earlier stream today. Husband might be doing some streams on my channel. So don't be surprised if you see him on there and I'm not there. People are just fucking horn happy. Sorry, I'm listening to somebody like peel their car out of the car wash or something. Or it's one of the assholes that likes to spin donuts in the car wash's parking lot. That is also entirely possible. Because they like to be down there at all hours, acting like a fool. Because apparently they don't seem to have anything else better to do, I guess. Okay. Sorry, I had to change how I was sitting there for a second. Everything's kind of achy today. Just one of those days, can I say? I mean, shit. We all have those days, right? This just keeps melting into nothingness. I swear. I swear, Bob, I'm not happy right now. Like, I really didn't want to have to mix any white into this. But we might have to. Like, I don't have this that watered down. I mean, there's a little bit of water in there, but it's not like it's running all over my palette either. That looks super bright, but it's probably gonna dry and be just like super, super, super transparent here, which is amazing. Because I kind of didn't think it would do that to the extent that it's doing it. But we are kind of getting in here now with a little bit more of our orangey colors here. Kind of taking over a little bit. Just trying to see what we can get to happen. If anything. Sometimes you just kind of have to fuss with it a bit until it's to your likeness here. We might actually need to add a little bit of some white into this. Possibly. Not 100% certain yet, but maybe. Just trying to let this kind of feather into the edges here. That got real bright. See, like over in here though, as it's drying, we're not really there, but we still have to come back in with our yellow. Kind of work that in a bit. Okay. So I mean, we can kind of see it at the moment. We'll see how long that holds. That needs a bit more rinse in there. Okay. So do I want yellow, or do we want to bring in our Indian yellow? I'm thinking maybe Indian yellow to start, because it's not quite as bright. Sort of like an orangey cad yellow, I guess. And in the end, that's kind of what it looks like here for him. So he's kind of got this worked into here. Oh goodness, we're picking that straight up. All of the colors were kind of blending in there and making just a horrific mess. So ours is probably going to be a little bit more exaggerated here. That's okay. It's all right. Kind of work those on in together there. I might have to add just the tiniest touch of water to this. ever so slightly. Like to this yellow. Hang on 1 second. Okay, sorry. Husband had messaged me something. Just wanted to acknowledge him that I saw his message real quick. So yeah, ours is going to be a little bit more probably intense than Bob's was, just for how I'm laying this guy in here. And that's okay. Nothing really wrong with that. Still might need to add a little bit of white into this though. Maybe just a little bit. Don't want a whole lot, but we might need just a little something something. To hold our bright color together here. Okay. So, I mean, we still have our yellow, and we might take a little bit of, well, we're giving that a chance to dry here. A little bit of our I guess it's kind of like a lemon yellow, almost. Maybe. I don't know if I really want that color, but I mean, that's kind of a different family altogether. I might not use that one. So now that I've got it pulled out and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know. I think I'd almost rather grab just a little bit of white. And kind of mix it into, well, no, that kind of turned it a little bit peachy. Like almost like a light orange. That's not exactly what I'm looking for either. Alright, so if we do grab a little bit of that other yellow, It doesn't really look like a cat yellow to me, though. It feels more like a lemon. But what the fuck do I know? Maybe it is a cad yellow. See, that's like very intense orangey yellow. Well, maybe if we just get a bit more of this shade worked into this combo, we can do something with it. Sorry, the cat was getting a drink from the bowl behind me, and this particular cat loves, absolutely loves, shoving his feet into the bowl if he doesn't think there's enough water in it. And I heard him bump it. It's in a stand. I heard him bump the metal stand, and I'm like, don't you put your feet in there. Because then I'm going to have to stop what I'm doing. Go rinse out the whole bowl. Because you put your dirty feet in the water. Okay, I'm going to have to add just a touch of water to that because that was a little too thick for me. And my liking. Okay, so I know his bit of yellow there is a little bit smaller, right? And right now we just look like we're at the site of the next Dante Inferno's movie or whatever. But just gonna try to dry brush a little bit of this on up in here. This might not work out the way I wanted it to. We'll see. All of it feels a little sticky because it's wet. There's so many layers on there. Okay. So, you know, this one might be a particular challenge because of how we have to do this. Because oil paint, this is not, so it's not really going to behave like oil paint. So, alright, I'm going to sit that down for a second, and let's go ahead and advance our tutorial here. Oh, wait. What color did he grab? Hold on. Oh, those are in crimson and brown. Oh, shit. Seriously, Bob? And he's putting in a fucking foothill. Okay. And how are we? Yellow and green. That looks like yellow, though. I mean, I know this tape is old. Okay. Can I, like, get your hand out of there for just a sec? Okay. See, it's so hard with this first season, particularly because of the lighting they were doing and just all of the things. What the heck is in this brush? Did I get gouache left in this brush? Alright. Well, I don't think I really want to go that particular route, Bob, but I'll tell you what. I'll see your brown, right? I'll see your brown. And how about I raise you whatever frickin' red color this is. Because that's probably a little bit closer than whatever color it was that we had tried to make before. Okay. So, he kind of has a couple of foothills here. Kind of come down this way. Oh, okay, they're a little bit longer than I thought they were. I don't know how well this is gonna translate here. Okay. I mean, we're just kind of putting some more dark chalkiness on top of this shiny black, so I don't know. guess we'll see how it decides to turn out. I mean, I can kind of see it while it's wet. I gotta tell you, even I'm having a hard time seeing it. Okay, well, like right in there, it's a little bit easier to see. I never really liked this one. It just always felt difficult. Sorry, I had a hair in my towel here. I was trying to get out. Okay, so then he said he took yellow and green. Didn't say which green, but I have an idea. Okay, so I'm gonna put my green in the other corner down here. Alright. And I forgot that I took our mixture here. That's there's been a lot of little private planes going over today. Like a lot. So that yellow still kind of stayed a little chunky even after I tried to bring that back a bit. Little bit of green, little bit of yellow. I don't know, man. Wow, that just looks so neon. It doesn't really... Okay. See, that's the problem. It's the wrong yellow. Oops-a-doodles. I'm like thinking the other yellow. Oh, that's too much. Okay, so that yellow. That's probably a bit more where we should be, although that just looks so muddy now. But I guess that's okay, because it is kind of mixing with our brown that we put down. Our like little brown mixture. Hang on, I have to clean this brush in between. Doesn't really help that we've got this other color kind of hanging out in there. let's face it, this one's gonna be a bit of a hot mess no matter what we do at this point. Foobar in my paintbrush here. Okay, there, what's that? I mean, we still have a bit of that. That lemon color in there. Kind of hanging out on the edge there. It's just something we're just gonna have to cope with, I think. Alright. Well, that's not bad. Managed to get a little bit of that. Worked in there. I suppose that could just be some maybe dirt or like a shadow in there. So I could get a little bit more of that green. Brought it up over to here. That would be helpful. Kinda. Maybe. We can hope. Alright, so I know that that section's really pretty green here. I'm gonna try to come back in with a bit more of our yellow guy here. See if we can tone him down just a little bit. I also kind of want to get a little bit more of this yellow up there on the top edge. Because like down in here, just kind of looks like burnt, dried up grass. Right? But we'll see if we can breathe some life on back into that. Way too much that I grabbed out there. Way more than I wanted right now. That's for certain. Trying to kind of give this an edge, but at the same time, I kind of want to blend it back down into the rest of it. If we can. Because it is, like, it should have like a subtle kind of glow to it. Is basically the gist I'm getting. Okay. I know it looks like a hot mess right now, but a lot of Bob's stuff looks like a hot mess until we get there, right? Just kind of hoping that this will help us get this edge sorted. I mean, it looks a little different in front of me than it does on the camera. So we'll just have to see how this sucker pans out here. Okay, just making sure our brush looks clean enough. Alright. Ooh, okay. Onward and upward, Bob. So he's kind of flicking some things up just to kind of change the height variation. I mean, honestly, I kind of probably should have grabbed like ochre. Yellow and red. What? Oh, water? Bob, that is so hard to see. So very hard to see. This is why I mean, like, it just didn't feel very beginner friendly. Like, what is that? Like, when you're first starting out, again, nothing against Bob, I love Bob, but when you're first starting out, this is hard when you're first starting out, because you're like so unsure of yourself, right? And then what he's doing isn't even really translating through the TV screen that well, because it's so dark. Now, they did improve the lighting as time went on, and you know, camera technology, sorry, there was a fuzz, did get better, right? So, I mean, I understand, you know, they could only work with what they had. I get that. That is so dark. That is really dark. Like, I'm gonna have to mix a little bit of that lighter yellow in there, I think. 'Cause it's just so dark. Okay, so I've got a lot of red buried in this brush, so I'm gonna clean it just real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna have to try to do this as a bit of a dry brush, because if I try to do it as just regular paint coming down, it's not gonna look right. Alright, Bob, how far? I don't think you came down all that far, to be perfectly honest. I am actually wiping off, or tapping off, a good portion of this. Oh, my mom's gonna murder that cat. She has this, like, armoire. It used to be, like a TV armoire cabinet that we had. And then we kind of stopped using it for that, and then we just started using it for storage. But something happened with the closure on it, so it doesn't always stay tightly closed. And Cal needs to be into everything at all times of the day, it seems. and we thought we had managed to secure those doors, and he likes to go in there at night when she's trying to sleep, because she doesn't have like a door to shut him out. And he will just bang the doors trying to get in them. She tried to tie them closed, but there's like enough of a gap where he can like bang the doors, but he can't get in. We're gonna have to probably get like child locks or something to put on there, but then I don't know if my mom's got the hand strength, because her one hand, one of her fingers sometimes is like curled against her palm, and she can't unbend it a lot of the time. She had surgery on the one hand, on the one finger, years ago, and now I think this might be the other hand. Did he kinda came all the way over. At least our water's going to for right now. Now he kind of went that way to ripple it. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. So just rinsing my brush. I've got it slightly damp. Just kind of coming back. Just trying to disrupt my brush strokes ever so slightly, because I know I don't really do the reflections with the needle felting, because it's kind of difficult to get that point across without it just looking like a complete hot mess. Well, I mean, that looks like a complete and hot mess, but like I almost want to grab a little bit of this and just kind of like pull it down through it, just to darken it a little bit. I know it's probably not going to do jack shit. But I just kind of want to try just a little bit. I feel like there's hardly any color here on the brush. I feel like we're just making more of a mess of it at this point. But, you know, see if it kind of helps a little bit in the end. See, the water reflections are hard enough, right? And then trying to do them on this is really hard. Now with oil paint, it might be a little bit easier. Alright, we'll see how that looks as it dries and we go along here. Come on now. Really? Had like water, the towel did not want to pick up. Okay, so where were we? Right, we were at the MK. Brown. Back to this brown and red color. Oh boy, we're putting, where's that brush at? Hold on, I don't know if I can find it while he's talking. So he's putting in some trees here. I was ripping brushes out of my bucket the other day, trying to find my glue brush. I have a specific brush that's kind of fucked up that I use for putting glue down when I'm working on the tissue paper stuff. Got all these skewers in here. Okay, I'm gonna pause you just for a second, Bob, because I need to find, there it is, our fucked up tree brush. That guy does some decent tree stuff here. Oh, if I can, okay. Alright, so, I'm sorry, Bob, what color was this again? The brown and alizarin. Okay, so like our reddish brown. I don't know if I'm gonna go with the magenta brown or if we're just gonna go with like the red brown. We might just go with the red brown. So he's gonna start to put some trees in back in there. So they're gonna be kind of silhouetted back where he's at. Kind of. I'm not sure if I brought this down far enough. Okay, so 2 of the little pine tree guys there. And he's gonna put one guy off on his own. I would have loved if they had redone the ones from season 1 with the better lighting and the better cameras. Just so we could see what it really looks like. Plus, you know, there was changes in pigment and stuff that's happened since then. So 4, a stand of 3, and he says that we're gonna put a water line in, but he didn't say what color he was grabbing, and he just did it. Like, uh-oh. He's gonna do, oh boy. He's like, I know this is gonna be difficult for you to see, but it's there. Okay, Bob. Wait, go back. Did they, hold on. Okay. I can't tell if he grabbed yellow and put the water line in or if he grabbed white. Alright, I think that's the best shot we're gonna get for that. Like, he usually grabs white to do the water lines, right? But I don't know, man. Alright, I'm just mixing some more brown, because I think we're gonna need a bit of it here coming up. Brown. And then we'll probably should throw it in that back corner. Is it too late now? Guess not. We can kind of scrape it up here. Kind of move it onto the back of the bus here. Alright, well in that case, let's grab a bit more brown. Sorry I'm so like whistly through my nose today. I've blown my nose like 500 times. It's not helping. Okay. So, let's rinse the brown out of that. It doesn't help that I used the shiny black, because I forgot that paint is shiny. Okay, so I'm just going to take whatever red this is. I don't know if it's like a rose red or, I don't know, some kind of red. The names were not in a language that I could understand when I bought these. It just looks red. This is the jelly gouache from Himi. Oh, I have to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Sorry. Like I said, man. Tell you, I was laying funny on the bed earlier, like the blankets were bunched up, and I was laying on top of them. Because of my scoliosis, my head doesn't lay flat on the bed sometimes, depending on how I'm laying. Oh boy. I went to stretch. Got an incredible muscle spasm, cramp, Charlie horse, whatever the fuck you want to call it, in the back of my shoulder. Holy shit, went up the one side of my neck. Still not completely happy. I was gonna try to do my one exercise thing tonight, but I don't know if I should after that. Maybe I should give it a day. Alright, I'm gonna rinse that out. As best as I can. I'm reusing an old glass jar of yeast. It's been thoroughly washed and dried as my water jar at the moment. Okay, so gonna get this with some paint on it. Alright, so he's got one little guy kind of all on his own. Back in here. So I don't remember what happened to this brush, but something happened to it, and I cut off a portion of it. I think I was trying to make a differently shaped brush that I didn't have at the time. I think is what that was about. Maybe. That just really looked like a triangle there, didn't it? So then we've got this guy kind of in the back here. Kind of hard to do these. Properly when they're quite so tiny. Alright, so there's a 1. And then we've got another guy, kinda a little bit straighter. A little bit. Kinda hanging out here. I just really didn't feel like video editing tonight, because that's what I would have been doing. I've got a Diablo video to edit. I've got a speed paint, well, a speed felt to edit from the last live stream series that we did for the season 3 episode 6 Joy of Painting that we just finished up. But I really wasn't in the mood to edit tonight. I actually need to record another session for Diablo, because I had to abruptly cut the one off. Because I ran out of a bit of time. I thought I had a little more time than I did. I didn't realize that what I ran off to was about to be a dungeon, and I was like, oh, I don't want to get started on this right now. Oh, it's not bad. Not great, but it's not bad. Okay. So we'll rinse that out. I think that's rinsed out. Hard to tell. Okay. I think I'm gonna need this guy now. Okay, so. Oh, right. Waterline. Well, I do have some white already down here. I just need to And bring it back to life here. Just a bit. It does have a little bit of a yellowish tinge to it. That might work in our favor. Oh, what the heck did I do here? Paint on my hand. Okay. So he kind of okay. That actually doesn't look half bad. Okay. All things considered. Alright, now let's fast forward 10 seconds. Alright, so this is where he's gonna get. Oh, no, that was the water line. He's talking about the transparent color. Okay, here we go. Serious business now. Can't even see the tree. Oh my word. Bob. So, like, that's like a bush, right? Because you can see the top part of it, and then there's like a gap in between. Okay, and then he's got something kind of coming up to about here. Does he not take it all the way up? Bob, can you even see what you're doing? 'Cause I really don't. Like, he's got something hanging down here. He's got a gap in between them. And then he's kind of taking it, like, all the way down. He didn't take it up to the top here. He left that open. It's too much dark. It doesn't help that the camera's not looking at it dead on, so you can't. Like, the only way we're able to see that is because he highlighted it a little bit. What in the world? Is my monitor just not that bright? I know the colors on this one monitor are a little off because I had to tone down the brightness on it when I had pink eye. Okay, I really want a head-on shot of this. All right, well, we're gonna have to wing it, I'm afraid, because this is just some black magic bullshit, Bob. Okay. Oh wait, do I want this brush? I don't want this brush. Where's my fucked up brush? Like, I don't want to fuck this brush up more than I have to. and it was already starting to fuck up a little bit. Like, this brush isn't very good quality because the tips were curling under or curling up. Yeah, this brush is fucked up. We can use this one. We're curling under on the edges, or curling up on the edges, and I'm like, you're supposed to be a flat brush. These were cheap brushes, though. Like, super cheap brushes. But they haven't really shed. And they work okay for some things, so I can't complain too much. I really need to get a set of decent detail brushes. That's what I want to get. Will they ever? I don't know. We're out to lunch on that. Kind of depends on a few things. So I'm pretty sure, like, this one over here, he took down all the way. And this guy, he just kind of did a little something like that, is what it looks like. It's very difficult to make it out. So I've got this a little bit watered down. You don't have to go that watery if you don't want to. How far? Kind of cover that whole area. This probably should have come down a little bit further. That's what I get for not drawing it out all the way, or at all. Then we end up with a whole mess of trouble. And I've got either too much space at the bottom or not enough. But at least this way we'll start to tone down some of the shine, I suppose. Maybe it won't look quite so strange now. I do think coming back in with that dark color over top of that red-orange on the water reflection did end up working out in our favor. Or at least I'm going to say it did. And it kind of looks like it did. The color I mixed dried up a little bit, or just dried a bit on the palette, so I'm just adding a little bit more water back to it to reactivate it here. Which is why I'm really liking gouache. Because if this was acrylic, we'd be fucked. We'd have to mix a whole another set again. There wouldn't be any reactivating now. Would it have dried that fast if it was acrylic? Depends on which acrylic paints I was using. The Arteza ones like to dry out really fast on my palettes. The cheaper craft paint can dry at a pretty good clip too, depending on how thick I have it on my palette, how thick my puddle of the paint is. But the Arteza stuff, man. I want to like their acrylic paint. I really do. But, it just dries so fast on the palette. It skims over. Or, you know, it doesn't help that I'm a bit of a slow worker too, so. Okay. So, it's kind of hard to see now, but at least we're not quite so weirdly shiny where it's like kind of chalky in one part and not chalky in the other. I don't think there's any way that's actually clean. I have a towel over my shoulder that I'm trying to dry this on. Okay. See, they're nice brushes. They do what I want them to, but can you see how it like frays out there and there's like little spikies bending every which way? So and I really wasn't that rough with it. So I try to save those for the fucked up shit that I do. Alright. Tree trunks. So we need a little bit of brown. He knifed them in. I'm just gonna paint them in. Alright, so he did like a stand of trunks here. And like a sea of darkness. He went and added more darkness, which is crazy to me because he's always on about gotta have light. And we haven't added a whole lot of that. In here. So our trunks are going to be a little bit thicker here because I'm just going to connect that all together. I'm fine with that. Grab just a little bit of water back into the white that we have here. And he took a little bit of the brown. And a little bit of the white. For some reason this brown and white kind of make like a gray tone. So he gets it in there, but like the only thing you can really distinguish is the little bit of like light gray at the moment that he highlighted that with. And I think there's actually something else over here too, right? Yeah. So I have to get some more white down, so okay, so he's just adding shit everywhere. He's just getting a little too crazy here. Bobberito. Trying to see where my tape line is. Alright, so we got that. He's kind of got one crossing over. He's got a couple more guys like down in here. Okay, they don't look, no, they're not touching the bottom. See, they don't look it. Alright. Just trying to hit the edge of that. And then I can't tell if this is the bottom edge or the top edge. I think for the sake of argument, we're just gonna go top edge here. Okay. Looks like a hot mess to me. We started to bring it back, and then we kind of lost it again. And all right, sir, dazzle me. I had a lemon in my drink. I couldn't tell if I had a piece of animal fuzz or a piece of lemon pulp stuck to my lip. Wait, hold up. I missed the colors entirely. What did you grab? Magic white. Yellow. Phthalo green. What? Ah. Oh, it's gonna jump out all right. Seriously? Oh, that one looks like it's got some more, like, yellow ochre in it. That one's a little more orangey. Okay, so we're just gonna make it up as we go. I guess. Because he's just grabbing, no! He's just grabbing like random effing colors at this point. Oh, the studio lights. It's wet, so it almost makes it look like it's tipped with white, but it's not. It's the glare coming off the paint. Oh, what are you doing? Bob. Bob. That's a skinny almighty tree, Bob. There's only one side of it. It's still kind of skinny for an almighty tree. Okay, but that's what he's connecting those pieces to. Alright, well, okay, so I guess we need some colors here. We need to get some water on that one. A little bit more water on that. Definitely some water on that color. I need a little bit more of that. Maybe a little bit of that. Okay. Alrighty. So, I don't even know where the fuck to begin with this. Okay, so a little bit of, he used like yellow, but we tried to use the yellow and it just looked not well. Didn't look well. Alright, so I'm just trying to pull out a bit of that color. Just trying to liquefy that a little bit more. It's not quite so chunky. Alright, so we've got some of that color pulled out. So I don't like mixing or putting dirty brushes in these cups, because then, you know, I feel like you're wasting paint. Pulling the color out to clean it, when you could have just like rinsed your brush to begin with. Some people will use like a little palette knife to pull the color out on a palette, and that'll work too. Trying to make sure that my dirty colors don't really happen in the paint cups. That was not clean. The only problem with using this particular cup as my water cup is that it's got a smooth bottom on it, you know? So it doesn't always make it easy to get the paint rinsed out. And I don't have a paint puck, and I wouldn't want to put a paint puck in this particular jar, because I'd be afraid I wouldn't be able to get it out, because I can't get my fingers down in there very easily. Oh. There we go, just wrecking the joint. Okay, and we've got some other colors that we can probably do something with here. So, oh right. Get some fresh white pulled up here too. Okay. a little bit of water on the brush. Alright, so if we grab a little bit of that, minus the fuzz from the towel. Looks very brown. And then that kind of looks like a spring green there. Okay. Alright. How far down did he kind of took it most of the way. But then he dropped a big old tree on top of it. That was a little bit rude. Okay, so there's one guy. And let's see, I'll take a little bit more of this. And a little bit of that. Kind of our yellow ochre. And this like warm kind of Indian yellow that we've been using here. Oh, that's bright. That's very bright. Maybe we should have just used straight ochre here. That's still very bright. We kind of covered up the other bush that was kind of chilling out back there. Sorry, other bush. Don't be mad, yo. So that one was like way more watery than I really wanted that to be. Okay, so that one's gonna be a little bit messy, I guess. So we've got this like yellow-orange mixture that we made. Just gonna drop a little bit of water on that. That was, I think, the water reflection that we had going on back up in there. This guy kind of tapped in around that. And then let's see here. Just a little bit more of our ochre color here. I'm gonna try to grab just some of the straight ochre. Right, that might not have been straight ochre. But you know what? That's okay. Okay. Just gonna grab a little bit of this green mixture. Kind of tap that into there. Okay. How about we grab a little bit more of that color, the phthalo green. I keep forgetting to blot some of this water off before I dive in to some of this color here. Right, I forgot to add a little bit. Oh, that's not what I was looking for. It's too much white. Okay, well, that's what color we got now. Well, maybe it'll tone down. Yeah, it's picking up that brown underneath, so that'll be okay. What a hot mess this is. I tell you. But it's not terrible. I mean, we're kind of... Hi, little. What can I do for you? You just bored? Little's here. Like, he really grabs the magic liquidy white stuff to make the paint stick a bit. That was really the only reason why he had grabbed that. I can't tell if this shot is off center or if he really covered that entire tree trunk up. Like, I just can't tell. Okay, so that kind of needed to be a little bit thicker. Because that really didn't do a whole lot there. Alright, so bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna swap brushes here. You can see as it's drying, it's kind of darkening up here a bit. This is kind of our weird messed up brush. So it gives it a little different texture. Not like a tremendously amount different, but does give it a little something different to think about here. Just a little bit. Oh gosh. So that's kind of a nice little grass texture right in there. Okay. Probably have to go back to the other one now. Alright, so I'm gonna grab some of this orange that we had out earlier, the straight orange. Hey Bob, could you move your hand for like just a second? Okay, so he's still kind of got some dark stuff happening. Kind of over in there a bit. Alright, I'm gonna take just a little bit of this lighter color, just kind of work him in just a little bit. Don't want too much of it. Okay. Tell you, this one's been a challenge. Okay, so now we have to go back to our brown here. Get this reactivated. Okay. So he's kind of got our tree's going to be a little bit bigger. Because I didn't bring that down quite far enough. But that's okay. And then we've kind of got an arm coming that way, and then like an arm going that way. If I can make this guy thick enough to hold himself up here. Alright, and I need to bring up some grass around the bottom. should let that part dry first a bit. Maybe. Okay. Rinse that. We're getting there. We are getting there. Okay. Alright, bub. What are we doing next? Oh. We have to highlight him, apparently. Okay. Don't know how I want to deal with that. Forgot I didn't need to pull any more of that color out. Okay. Hopefully this isn't too... Let's see. We can even attempt to pull that off there. Oh shit, we just put our hands in the paint that I didn't realize was still wet. Might be okay. We'll go back and we'll touch that up in just a second. So I try not to fuck this up too badly. A little bit of light up into there. Okay. Actually, I wonder if that was dry. I wonder if I dripped water on it. That's possible. I don't know if I just made that worse or better. Yeah, I think I'm just making it worse now. Yeah, okay, that was definitely worse. Okay. Alright, we're gonna stop touching it now. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad as it dries. Alright, Bob. What's next? Because how are you only halfway? Seriously. You don't have that much more to go. What colors are we? Hey, Zorts. Sorry, just noticed it. My head's down a lot when I'm doing this. And husband's gone to bed, so he's not poking me. It goes alright. I guess as alright as it can be. Oh, and then, oh, that work we did putting that in, and then the fucker puts a path in. Damn it. I hate this one so much. Like, I don't feel like that should be white. I feel like it should be yellow. The white doesn't look right. Everything else is like this golden reddish hue. I don't know, man. And he kind of puts that in front of the path. I almost want to leave it out, to be perfectly honest. Alright. This one's tough. This one's very tough. Alright. Nope. That was the wrong brush. How goes it with you? How was the rest of your wrestling stream? How'd that finish out? I made cupcakes earlier, so I guess that's something. Had a shitty Charlie horse muscle spasm in the back of my shoulder earlier. My hand's still fucked up a bit. It was doing a little better yesterday during the day. And then, Russell was having a rough night last night. And he came out and, so he was laying in bed and he just needed cuddle time, right? To try to make the thoughts go away and to kind of try to settle the anxiety. So that's what we were doing. And I had to adjust how I was laying. I put my bad hand down on the mattress, and I guess just the way I put the weight on it flared it back up again. I was like, son of a bitch. So that's been kind of pissy. But we made cupcakes, so I didn't get the rug shampooed this week like I wanted to. But I just, the energy just wasn't there. I'm just like, you know, is the world gonna end if I don't get this rug shampooed today? No, it's not. So I just kind of was like, fuck it. There's always next week. Right? For that kind of shit. Nobody's yelling and screaming that it's not getting done. Husband's been helping with the dishes lately. So I haven't had to do them. So that's been something. I don't know if he shoves another tree in there or not. I'm kind of thinking he might. So what are you up to this late night evening? Anything, nothing, trying to stay awake so you don't completely fuck over your sleep schedule. To have a nap. He's gotta put something in over here, right? Like, it wouldn't be Bob unless he did something of the like. Alright, so I'm gonna reactivate our dark brown here. Or try to. Played some Fortnite and now just chilling. Now, I didn't think that Fortnite would be a game you would like. To be perfectly honest. I didn't peg you as someone that would tolerate it. Surprised me. Alright, so this kinda... comes up this way. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I was just shocked. It was a game I didn't think that you would, really give the time of day to. It's fun if you do the no build mode and you have good people to play with. Okay, so it's kind of like situational. I gotcha. I got ya. So over the weekend during your charity thing, was that classic I saw you in? Briefly? I was kind of bouncing in and out because I had stuff to do. You've not played solos. I don't think I would play solos either. I don't think I could do Fortnite. I think it would get on my nerves. Personally. But that's just me. I can't move fast enough to get out of my own way, so probably not go well for me. Just saying. Alright, he did white on this pathway. I'm not gonna come in here with a little bit of our... Well, that was kind of the ochre, though. A little bit of our warmer tones. It doesn't look right to me. Oh, this palette's a mess. We might have to switch to the plate soon. Which is a shame, because we were almost done. Although with Bob, Another 10 minutes of tutorial could go on for quite a while. Like, I'm okay with adding a little bit of white to this, but the white by itself on here, just... That is my hand shaking. My hands shake when I hold stuff. It's a little exaggerated because my body's moving from putting this in, but that is me shaking that. That was a video from the old YouTube. Okay, I was confused. I was like, huh? Like, it looked familiar, and then I thought I saw you said you were taking a dinner break, and I was like, what? Okay, that explains that. Okay. Because I had popped out for a second and then popped back in and I saw that and I'm like, huh? I was like, alright, I guess. I was surprised. I was like, oh, Zort's playing classic? Okay. Hi, little. Meow. What is the matter? You can't possibly be out of food already. Are you just lonely? Hi. Don't fuck with those wires, please. I'll not be happy and you won't be happy either. No kitty electrocute. No kitty electrocute, please. She's being needy. Ow. That hurt. Alright, need to get some more of... I need to get some more room on my palette is what I need. I guess I'll put you here. I'm gonna mix with that other color underneath of you. Which I really didn't want you to do, but okay. Alright, that explains that. I was very confused. We got some Diablo time in after dinner while the cupcakes were cooking. But he wasn't feeling well, so he went to bed early. Then he got up and came out, and I was kind of looking at him, and I'm like, why are you back? Because I was trying to gauge if he was going to bed or if he was coming back out. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what I can get into here, because if you're getting back up, we'll probably end up playing Diablo. But if you're not getting back up, at least for a while, I'm going to try to get in an art stream here. Gotta say, I'm really digging Coral Island right now. And I did not realize, we didn't get a message saying that that new area opened up. I was really surprised. I wasn't expecting that. Very much like, oh, what the fuck is this? And I didn't even notice that new spot had opened. I don't know if it coincided, I think that's the word I want, with that little dude stealing the strawberry out of our box, or what. I'm hoping that they put in like a little notification, unless that you felt a chill last night was the notification. I don't know. Ours looks very different, but that's okay. We still have this mess over here, Bob. Oh, we're taking care of that now. Big old tree trunk going in there. Really? That's sitting in front? guess. Really liking the Coral Island. I haven't had the chance to look at the new Planet Zoo update yet. We're gonna look at that tomorrow. At least some of it. I'm excited that we're gonna be able to change the employees' shirts and make them more color-coded. They also added in a new cinematic camera feature where you can like set if you don't do video editing, you might not understand, but it's almost like you can set rotation points or like keyframes on certain areas and then tell the camera to like pan a certain way. So that looked kind of cool. We probably won't be messing with that aspect tomorrow. They also added in the new spitting mechanic on the free update. So if you have camels or there was a list of specific animals that had like a spitting feature, they're gonna spit now at the guests, so the guests might get spit upon, spat upon, and I did that backwards. All right, let's try that again. So I don't think we'll see any of that. I don't think any of the animals I currently have in Streamland Park spit. They did add a new species of camel that wasn't... Momo's scratching. You okay, buddy? I think it's Momo. It might be Zuzu, though. I might have to get up and put some hot spot spray on him in just a second. You okay, my dude? I guess he's okay. I don't think he took this up all the way. I won't be getting the new animal pack until sometime in July. That's when we're gonna be able to, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna take it all the way up. That's when we're gonna be able to, pick that guy up. Because I was not expecting a DLC this month. And then bam, and I'm like, fuck, the budget. We didn't budget for a DLC. But I might be able to pick it up. I should be getting a payment sometime in July. I'm happy that they dropped the threshold to 50. Especially for a small channel like me. It means I get paid more than once a year. Oh, that's not true. I was averaging about, well, no, the 1 year it was once a year. 1 year I only did get the one payment, but lately it's been about 2 a year. Because when you're a small channel, oh, I got water on it. Shit. Fuck. Fucking hell. Really? Shit. That's the one downside to working with this. You accidentally get a drop of water on the thingy. You have to be very, very careful about picking it up because it's gouache, and gouache behaves a little bit like watercolor, where you can lift the color sometimes. Fuck. That did not work out in our favor whatsoever. What color was that? Oh, pause. Okay. Son of a monkey. Why? Why did I have to do that? We toiled over that for how long? Now it's gonna look weird. Because it took it right back down to the black. Fucking hell. Okay, well that pisses me off. Shit. Seriously. Damn it! Alright. After all the hard work we did on that spot. Making it worse. Alright, I'm gonna have to let that dry. What is the matter, little? You're back again. Alright, I'm gonna let that dry for a second, and I'm gonna go check her food to see if she needs more. I will be right back. Relax. Come on. Do you need food? Is that what's the matter? Oh, my knee's locked up. Ow. Okay, let's go see. What does Little Pants want? Me all over the house. Brat. She had food. She had water. She wants me to lay in bed and cuddle with her. And I can't do that right now. I'm in the middle of something. Alright. Oh, I'm so mad. So mad, I tell you. She's in a mood now. Yeah, she's in a fighting mood. She just ran out in the other room. Ran back in here. Ran back out. Gonna be a long night with her. Alright. So we got that stuff coming up. I'm kind of excited for the August Coral Island update. Because I'm interested to see how they're going to advance relationships. And I do hope that one day they do come back in and put the text in on those books. It'll be funny to see what it says. I don't know if these are the colors that he put on this tree, but at this point I think we're just gonna kind of wing it. Kind of just put this guy in front of this one. It looks like there's a fucking meteor coming down. Ugh. Damn it. Alright, let me get some more white. Ain't that a kick in the ass. Alright. Get some of this mixed together. Some of this. Gotta darken this guy up a little bit. Don't want any more water dropping off of this brush. I'll just have a whole kind of conniption fit happening here. Right now my goal is just to kind of blend this fix. This hopeful fix in here. I don't know if it's gonna work. I really don't. Kind of have our fingers crossed right now. especially since that wasn't the brush I used to put that in. Good grief. All that work. All that work and one little water drop. To be fair, it was how I lifted it up. If I had left it alone and let it dry, it might have been easier to fix. But because I panicked and tried to soak it up, I mean, we lifted the paint right up off of it. Damn it. Damn it, Denise. Alright. It's okay. Okay. All in all, I don't think it came out too bad, considering we were trying to do this on a black canvas. And it was with gouache instead of watercolor. Yeah, those bright guys, they just kind of faded right on out. But you know what? That's better because it looks more shadowy. I'm just trying to speed the drying on this along a little bit. And our reflections actually didn't come out half bad. You can't hardly see them, but they didn't come out half bad. If I could stop scraping this along the thingy, that would be great. Alright, so we had of this kind of come into here, and then I don't have any of that exact color still available because we were mixing all kinds of colors in there left and right. Yeah, it's starting to lift up. Probably because it's a little... I don't want it too wet. I don't want it too dry either. Don't think I have anything softer. Just don't think I do. I'm actually trying to grab a little bit extra. Ever so gently extrafy that without pulling anything up. I think we're gonna have to leave it like that. Because if I try to fix it anymore, it's gonna just completely not work. I think it's gonna work. So, Bob's putting in that last tree, right? So yeah, he kind of goes all in on that sucker. What was he doing? Because he had a lot of time left. He was just fussing with it, basically. Do they not? Can we not see it? No, we don't get to see it without the captions on it. Alright. Well, we have an idea of how it should look, right? I think that is still wet. You've got a solid skin on you. Don't be smearing paint everywhere under there. Okay. So here's the real moment of truth, right? A, did we bleed under the... Oh. I always do this. Where's my tape, actually? Supposed to be a flamingo foot. So we're gonna have to wait for that to dry for a second. Well, we didn't end up using the plate except for the acrylic paint, so that was something. I'll clean that lid out later. Okay, take my little scrap piece here. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these little scrap pieces. I guess use them as fans. This might take a minute to dry. It's kind of wet when that went down. You can still see it. Well, I still see the fuck up because now it's drying and it's darker. You know what? These are just going in a book for me anyway. So I guess it's not that big of a deal. I don't want to accidentally smudge the wet paint. Especially down there, you know, that'll just be the end of it. I mean, it's not bad, considering... I think that ripped the paper a little bit. Considering, his first season was a mess. Like, the lighting was horrible. And, you know, old recording equipment and stuff. And, you know, he was working out his nerves as much as the TV station was working out how to film it. We bled under a little bit with the paint, with the acrylic paint, but not too bad. But I was really dreading this one because I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, it's just paint. stop it. Just do it. So, I mean, even with the fuck up in the middle, we fixed it pretty good. With that stupid drop of water. So let me see if I can... I wonder how much of this was actually on the tape, because after a while I lost sight of where the tape edge was. Okay, it wasn't too bad. Alright, so that's not bad. That's not bad. We'll pick him up here. And we'll bring him up a little bit closer. So no, that didn't come out too bad at all things considered. But yeah, so what's the next one on this? So this isn't going to be a series I'm doing like every night or anything. Oh, it's a snowy one. Ooh. I'm definitely going to have to get more gouache. Because white, they don't give you much white. They give you like 2 different whites. One is like a mixing white, and one is a like a more opaque for like highlights. What does this one? Oh god, it's like gray. Oh wow. It's gonna be a challenge. Alright. So that's this one. So we're 3 in on this project here. Let me grab my folder. My folder of things. Of templates and stencils and something that just went flying off the edge of this that I have no idea what the hell it was. Alright. So we've got a new one to add to our pile. So this was the first one, where I did the sky way too dark. The second one I'm pretty happy with. That one was on the money. I liked that one. Really happy with how that one came out. And so now we've got the third one. I still have to get my scrapbook that I'm going to be putting these guys in. Every time I go to order it or go to get it, it's not on sale. And, because my mom had us take her, she wanted more silk flowers for a Father's Day arrangement for my dad's grave. So, as much as I hate shopping at Hobby Lobby, they've got the largest selection of silk flowers around here. And of course they had just come off sale. I was like, of course. And of course my scrapbook that I wanted had just come off sale too. I'm like, damn it. It's like the one fucking thing I want that I'm willing to spend money on here for it, and it just came off sale. But Russ was like, just sign up for the newsletters so we know when the shit's on sale so you can tell your mother. Because she wants me to do a fall arrangement, and then she wants me to do a Christmas grave blanket. I know, right? Every time. And they're not doing a 40 off coupon anymore. So I'm like, fuck. And I was trying to shop around. I was looking at like Office Max, because what I want's really a 3-ring binder. Because the actual scrapbooks, the expandable ones, I don't think I'll be able to expand far enough for all of them. Because there's, what did I say it was? 341-ish tutorials. So if I can get 2 to a 12 by 12 page on one side, so technically 4 to a page if you're like counting front and back, so it's one insert. It's still a lot of inserts, and I don't know how many times I can expand it before it won't expand anymore. So I'm like, well, maybe if we just go 3-ring binder, I'll have a little bit more wiggle room. Because I can get the inserts that will fit the 3-ring binder. And I'm just going to get some little photo corners and mount these to some black scrapbook paper I think, for the background. And then I can just do a little handwritten thingy next to it and just glue stick it in there, or something, or have Russell print it out on the printer. We'll just stick a little thingy next to it just to show what it was. And yeah, so, because I gotta think of how I'm gonna display this shit, because if we move, we're gonna be dramatically downsizing. Like, we were really looking into like the tiny house thing. The problem is that there's not that many areas where you can do the tiny housing legally, like get like insurance for it and the whole thing. Now there's a couple tiny house parks that I've seen in Texas, and I don't want to move to Texas. Sorry, Texas, I can't handle you. I have my own problems. I don't need your baggage as well. So whatever we end up doing, like, we don't know how much stuff we're going to be able to take with us. So I gotta think in terms of small storage that I can... Where the fuck did it go? Where did it go? I kid you not, I was sitting here watching a little tiny ass spider fuck did it go? I gotta find this. On the edge of my foot here. I've got paint all over my phone. I picked it up, and the fucking thing's gone. Are you serious? Maybe it wasn't a spider. Maybe it flew. Maybe it's walking around in the dust bunny where my microphone was sitting. I've got a dust back here so bad. Oh, that's gonna upset me. It's not on me. It was a little tiny guy. But I didn't like what color he was. Let's face it, I just didn't like the fact that there was a bug over here at all. Doesn't matter what kind of bug. There's a bug. Buggies can be outside, Nisey will be inside, and we'll all be happy. Okay? Never works out that way. Alright, so I think this guy might be... Are we dry enough? So yeah, this is just some Canson watercolor paper. Not that expensive. I think it was on sale for like under $10, $7, $5, something like that. Oh, you know what? There's a little tiny like fruit fly flying around. Maybe that's what I saw. Because I just saw it. It just... Yeah, that had to be it. I see it now. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Its little feet are splayed out, kind of like a spider when it lands. And then he was flying away. So, we're good. Alright, I don't have to panic about the spider being loose on my desk now. Okay. So, yeah, I think we're doing okay with this series. But like I said, this isn't going to be something that we do every night. It's going to be as I have time to do it. Probably like late night stuff. But yeah, you know, not bad. I'm really happy with how that mountain came out, considering we were doing that with a paintbrush. And with the gouache, I mean, you can see the brush strokes in there, but we actually got that to break pretty damn well. I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, we're figuring things out. I do need to get a couple different shades of yarn soon for some non-Bob Ross projects I want to do. I was going to do some custom latch hook, right? This was my grand plan. I've got too many fucking... I've got too many ideas I want to do. Not enough money to get the stuff for them. And then I've got like 3 projects in progress right now that I really gotta finish. I still have this paint by number. I started to get back to work on that the other night. I didn't have anywhere to do it, so I had it on this big ass clipboard. Like, big ass clipboard. It's... I don't even know how big this clipboard is. It's fucking ginormous. The paint by number I think is 18 by 24, and this fits on that with room to spare, so it's a big ass clipboard. So I was kind of working on that, half sitting on this ottoman, oddly leaning on the bed because I had nowhere else to put it, and the way I was laying, or half laying, half sitting, I should have just straddled the ottoman instead of like leaning sideways off of it. I pissed off my my tailbone area when I went to get up. Like, I was completely locked up. I was like, oh shit. What the fuck is on you? That might have been a water droplet that I didn't catch before. Or something. Alright, well. So I've got that I'm trying to wrap up. I've got my tissue paper art flamingo that I'm working on. It's like a wooden cutout that I'm just covering with the tissue paper art instead of just painting it, because I wanted to do something different. And then I was like, oh yeah, we'll do custom latch hook. We'll do like a small little wall hanging custom latch hook rug thingy with like Marvin, the channel mascot, right? And you know, and then I'm like, well, I need the money to buy the supplies to get that done. So I had to put that on the back burner for now. I'm like, slow down. You've got everything else going on. So, and then I've got like ideas for doing other, following other photos on Unsplash for the needle felting and stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't quite have the right colors. I need a couple more like burnt oranges, or like some burnt siennas. I don't really have those right now. It's like the one thing I'm missing in it's like my browns and my orange browns and stuff. They didn't really have any in stock with the one company when I went to go order yarn last, so I'm hoping that I can find them somewhere with that company, because I like their shipping. I like ordering from Lovecrafts. I haven't had a problem ordering from them yet, so and their prices are fairly reasonable. But yeah, I want to get some succulent colors, some cactusy colors, and some like some cactus greens and like celery green and some pears and like things like that. And I need some like reddish dirt orange brown colors so we can do some like deserty stuff. But I haven't been able to find those colors in stock with them. I'm hoping if I give it a little bit, they'll get some more in. They're in the middle of moving warehouses, so they're trying to empty out the one warehouse as much as possible so they don't have to schlep it all to the new one. So I'm hoping maybe we can get that at some point. But I think that's gonna do it for now. Kind of all talked out for the day. I might go video edit. I might just dick around in my off-stream Coral Island game for a bit before I go to bed. Oh shit, it's almost 2. Yeah, my gosh, we got Planet Zoo tomorrow. I might just stick around Coral Island for like an hour before I go to bed. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow, later today, for that, if you're around. If not, there'll always be the recording of it for later in the day. And then we're doing more Planet Zoo on Saturday. And then Sunday we're back to the art, the needle felting art. I swear, it looks great. I swear it's purple, you guys. I don't know why it's popping up that level. See, look, that's the color purple it is. See, it is purple. It's purple, I promise. It's actually a little, it's like this shade of purple right in here. It's purple. For some reason, the camera's deciding it's gray. It's purple. I don't think holding it closer is gonna do it. It's just the way the light's reflecting off of all the light tones on there. But you have a good night too, sir. Thanks for hanging out for a while, watching me make a mess of things. So that, once again, that was today's project. And didn't come out too bad. It could have gone much worse, put it that way. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Have a good night. Have a good tomorrow, whatever your tomorrow happens to be. And I'll catch you all later.